Good morning. All members will please come to the floor. All members. All members will please come to the floor because the hour of convening haven't arrived. All members will please come to the floor and take their seats. Mr. Clerk, will you ring the bell? All members would please come to the floor. All members come to the floor. We're going to have the morning roll call. Morning roll call. All members present will please vote green to signify your presence in the chamber. Mr. Clerk will unlock the machines. Joseph Gully. Have all members voted? All members voted. If so, Mr. Clerk will lock the machines. Doorkeepers, will you please close the doors and keep them closed? As is our custom, we will begin our day with scripture reading and prayer by our chaplain, after which we will pledge allegiance to the flag of our country. Our chaplain this morning will be introduced by the gentleman from the 19th House District, Chairman Joseph Gullett. Representative Gullett.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, members of the House. I'm honored today to introduce today's chaplain, Pastor Tom Gray. Tom is not just a respected leader in our community, but he's a personal friend of mine and a constituent of mine, and he's just been really, really good to me. And it truly means a lot for him to be with us today. He brings a unique and well-rounded background in his ministry. He played football at Vanderbilt, where he earned both his Bachelor of Arts and his MBA. He went on to coach football and teach management at the University of West Alabama before answering a deeper call into ministry. He earned his Master of Divinity from Mid-America Baptist Theological Seminary in Memphis. Today, Tom serves as senior pastor at Mars Hill Community Church in Powder Springs, where he faithfully leads and invests in his congregation and community. He has also taught management at Kennesaw State University. Remember, I told you he was very well-rounded. In addition, he founded This Stuff Matters, a ministry that uses short, inspirational media to connect God's truth to everyday life and help people find peace and hope through his word. He has a great event that I go to every year raising money for that foundation, and it's really touched me, and I know it's touched a bunch of people here in Georgia. Tom and his wife Dana's with us here today. Thank you for being here. Have been married 30 years, and they are blessed with 3 incredible children and a grandson. Tom is a man of character, conviction, and steady leadership. I'm grateful for his friendship and his willingness to be with us today, and I'm looking forward to hearing his message. Would you please join me in welcoming Pastor Tom Gray as our chaplain of the day?
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you, Joseph. Thank you, brother. Speaker Burns, thank you very much. It's an honor to be here. Thank you. Well, it is an honor to be here, Speaker Burns and Representative Gullett, all the distinguished representatives here in this House, and those, my fellow Georgians, fellow citizens. As I stand here in a place of political power today, for the next few moments, I'd like to take us back to a conversation that took place in a different place of political power. It was a conversation that took place in the governor's palace in Jerusalem, exactly 1 week from this day, 1,993 years ago. The governor in that case was a man named Pontius Pilate. In the midst of the conversation, of which we'll read just a clip, he is the one who holds the authority over life and death. But the accused man in front of him, whom he will soon condemn to death, isn't a governor. He is a king. Not merely the king of the Jews, not merely the king of Judea and Samaria, but the king of all kings. As the creator, he is the king of the universe. The snippet of their conversation that took place in Pilate's palace goes like this. This is from John's Gospel, chapter 18, verses 37 and 38. Pilate says, "You are a king, then?" Jesus answered, "You are right in saying, I am a king. In fact, for this reason I was born, and for this reason I came into the world, to testify to the truth. Everyone on the side of truth listens to my words." In one of history's most important political moments, the defining question was not policy, but it was truth. May it be so in your life. May it be so in every facet of your life. May it be so in every decision you make here for the great people of our state. Let truth reign. Let truth be the dominant concern and focal point. Truth, simply stated, is just things as they actually are, not as we might wish them to be. Truth is things as they align to the Creator's design, intent, and purposes. Truth is not peripheral to Jesus in this context. It is his mission. Let it be yours as well. Your leadership here isn't just about legislative decisions. It's about alignment with truth. Authority separated from truth is dangerous. You, even in your position of authority, do not create truth, but you are accountable to it. May you, by God's grace, act accordingly. Every politician not grounded in and dedicated to truth becomes like Pilate. Everyone not grounded in and dedicated to truth, like Pilate, ends up succumbing to the pressure of the mob under the stress of the demands of their duties. Every politician not grounded in truth and dedicated to it mistakenly exchanges the real transformative impact truth offers for the temporary relief political expediency provides. And consequently, every politician not grounded in and dedicated to truth, like Pilate, becomes a pitiful footnote in history instead of a powerful factor for humanity. Jesus said it at the end of the little part that we read of his quote, "Everyone on the side of truth listens to me, listens to my words." In fact, when tempted in Matthew's gospel, Matthew chapter 4, verse 4, being tempted by Satan, Jesus said, "Man shall not live on bread alone, but on every word that proceeds from the mouth of God." Our state will not thrive on politics alone, but only when those politics are founded in, grounded in, and mindful of every word that proceeds from the mouth of God. Jesus is the truth and the speaker of the truth. He and his word will clearly guide great leaders through the stress, through the chaos, and through the rigorous demands of such burdensome leadership that you, like you, shoulder. Look, our world is in desperate need of Jesus people, of truth people, in significant positions of leadership. We've got plenty of Pilate politicians. Leaders defined and driven by the truth will do as Jesus did. They will be willing to even lay down not only their personal political ambitions, but even their lives, if that's what it takes, to serve humanity. Oh, please, spare us as a citizen of your great state. Spare us. Don't be in the model of Pilate. Pilate didn't fail because truth was unavailable. He failed because the truth was difficult in the moment. It's not enough to be aware of truth. It's not enough to be close to truth. It's not enough to even know and respect the truth. One must submit to the truth. I would like to plead with each of you today, if I could do it one-on-one, if I could lovingly and gracefully grab a hold of your shirt collar there or your jacket and look you square in the eyes, I would plead with you and say, would you please make your life and your position more about personal integrity before God than even policy making? Before you're accountable to your voters, would you live with a sense of what's true, and that is that you are accountable to the truth and the author of truth. Seek it, speak it, stand courageously on it, no matter what the crowds are calling for. May it never be said of us that we cowardly asked, like Pilate, "What is truth?" and smugly walked away. May we be men and women who recognize it, receive it, and even govern by it. May the Lord bless you. I'd like to ask you to stand with me. I'd like to pray for you, pray with you. Before I pray specifically, let me bless you with the blessing the Lord's given us in His Word. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make His face shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord lift up His countenance upon you and give you peace. Almighty God, make this room filled with men and women who seek and stand on your word, your words, the truth. May you be at the forefront of their thoughts as they grapple with and process through and even argue through significant issues this day and every day. Oh God, please bless our state through leaders defined by truth. God, may you bless each one of them. May you bless the great state of Georgia. May you bless the United States of America. And I thank you, God, that you're doing that in Jesus' name. Amen. Would you join me in the pledge? Ready? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Brother Tom, thank you for those words. Doorkeepers, you may open the doors. Members would allow you to join Brother Tom in the South Ante room and thank him for his devotion here today and his service to us. We appreciate you being here. Members, our doctor of the day is brought to us by Representative Deborah Silcox, and that doctor there is Dr. John Gleason. We appreciate Dr. Gleason being here serving us today. I want to recognize Chairman Hilton, the chairman of the Committee on Information and Audits. Chairman Hilton.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Your Committee on Information and Audits has read the journal of the previous legislative day, and we have found it to be correct.
Thank you, Chairman Hilton. Chairman Hilton, the chair of the Committee on Information and Audits, reports that the journal of the previous legislative day has been read and found to be correct. Is there any objection to dispense with the reading of the journal? Hearing none, the reading of the journal is dispensed with. Is there any objection to the confirmation of the journal? Hearing none, the journal is confirmed. Mr. Clerk, will you read the resolution establishing the order of business for the day?
Representative Administration of the 104th moves following be established as the order of business during the first part of the period. Unanimous consents. Introduction of bills and resolutions. First reading and reference of House bills and resolutions. The second reading of bills and resolutions. Reports of standing committees. Third reading and passage of uncontested local bills and resolutions. First reading and reference of Senate bills and resolutions. Morning orders.
Is there any objection to the adoption of the resolution establishing the order of business for the day? Hearing none, the resolution is adopted. First reading of bills and resolutions. Mr. Clerk will read.
House Bill 1603 by Representative Neal, the 79th, a bill being entitled an act to amend Chapter 1 of Title 10 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to selling and other trade practices.
Technology and infrastructure innovation.
House Bill 1604 by Representative Lim of the 98th, Lumpton in the 83rd, Wilkerson in the 38th. The bill be titled an act to amend Code Section 22-161 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to quality basic education formula.
Education.
House Bill 1605 by Representative Hilton of the 48th, Hagan of the 156th, Cox of the 28th, Osteen of the 169th. The bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 9 of Title 30 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to Georgia achieving a better life experience.
Public and community health.
House Resolution 1886 by Representative Blackman of the 146th, Williams of the 148th, Hitchens of the 161st. A resolution honoring the life of FHP Trooper Charles Eugene Gene Campbell and dedicating a road in his memory.
Transportation.
House Resolution 1887 by Representative Lewis Ward of the 115th and Holly of the 116th. A resolution honoring the life of Councilman Alfonso Thomas and dedicating an intersection in his memory.
Transportation.
House Resolution 1888 by Representative Prince of the 132nd, Newton 127th, Howard of the 129th, and Miles of the 126th. A resolution recognizing Mr. Don A. Grantham and dedicating an interchange in his honor.
Transportation.
House Resolution 1889 by Representative Cannon of the 172nd, Corbett of the 174th, Ford of the 170th, Dickey of the 134th, Howard of the 71st, and others. A resolution expressing support for termed and perpetual conservation easements.
Special rules.
House Resolution 1890 by Representative Taylor of the 92nd, a resolution urging the Rockdale County Board of Commissioners to exercise the power given to them under current law.
Intragovernmental coordination.
House.
General.
House Resolution 1891 by Representative Powell of the 33rd, Hawkins of the 27th, Jaspers of the 11th. A resolution creating a House Study Committee on Physicians Delegation Authority.
Special rules.
House Resolution 1892 by Representative Bernal of the 77th, Scott of the 76th, Bell of the 75th, Flournoy of the 74th, and Schofield of the 63rd. A resolution recognizing September 2026 as Alzheimer's Disease Awareness Month.
Special rules.
House Resolution 1893 by Representative Fincher of the 23rd, Smith of the 18th, Leverett of the 123rd, Crow of the 118th, Silcox of the 53rd, and others. A resolution creating a House Study Committee on modernizing the discovery process through the use of new technologies.
Special rules.
House Resolution 1894 by Representative Jaspers of the 11th, McDonald of the 26th, Hagan of the 156th, LaHood of the 175th, Cox of the 28th. A resolution creating the House Study Committee on the basic building blocks of transportation.
Transportation.
House Resolution 1942 by Representative Gaines of the 120th, a resolution honoring the life of Mr. Dan McGill and dedicating an intersection in his memory.
Transportation.
House Resolution 1943 by Representative Gaines of the 120th, a resolution recognizing the Honorable Nancy Denson and dedicating an interchange in her honor.
Transportation.
House Resolution 1944 by Representative Moore of the 91st, a resolution designating April as National Black Women's History Month.
Special rules.
House Resolution 1945 by Representative Davis of the 87th, Schofield of the 63rd, and Scott of the 76th, a resolution creating a House Study Committee on examining the implementation, funding, and effectiveness.
Special rules.
House Resolution 1946 by Representative Davis of the 87th, Scott of the 76th, and Schofield of the 63rd, a resolution creating the House Study Committee on Constituent Services.
Special rules.
House Resolution 1947 by Representative Blackman of the 146th, Irwin of the 32nd, Dubnik of the 29th, Jones of the 47th, Dawson of the 65th, and others, a resolution creating the House Study Committee on Education Finance.
Special rules.
House Resolution 1948 by Representative Gamble of the 15th, Wade of the 9th, Seabaugh of the 34th, and Hong of the 103rd. A resolution urging appropriate state and local authorities to transfer operation to the Georgia Capitol Museum.
Special rules.
Senate Bill 627 by Senator Anna DeVarde of the 31st and Bearden the 30th. The bill be titled an act to provide a homestead exemption for City of Dallas ad valorem taxes.
Intergovernmental coordination.
That completes first readers.
Second reading of bills and resolutions. Mr. Clerk will read.
House Bill 1596 by Representative Holcomb of the 101st, a bill relating to the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. House Bill 1597 by Representative Jackson of the 68th, Mitchell of the 88th, Reese of the 140th, Clark of the 108th, Bazemore of the 69th, a bill relating to the Department of Community Affairs. House Resolution 1857 by Representative Barry of the 56th, McQueen of the 61st, Lallier of the 59th, Reese of the 140th, and Clark of the 108th. Resolution urging the Georgia Department of Education to increase teacher compensation, establish a salary structure indexed to the cost of living to ensure competitive, sustainable wages for educators in this state. House Resolution 1858 by Representative Davis of the 87th, Scott of the 76th, Schofield of the 63rd. Resolution urging Georgia's congressional delegation to pass the Essential Worker Pay Protection Act and codify permanent protections for essential federal employees during government shutdowns. House Resolution 1859 by Representative Green of the 154th, Jones of the 47th, Burchett of the 176th, Mathiak of the 82nd, and Earhart of the 36th. A resolution urging the Capital Arts Standards Commission and the governor to place a portrait of Governor Rufus Bullock on the state capitol. House Resolution 1860 by Representative Hilton of the 48th, Dempsey of the 13th, Silcox of the 53rd, Werkheiser of the 157th, Petrie of the 166th, and others. A resolution creating the House Study Committee on Comprehensive Services and Long-Term Outcomes for Individuals with Disabilities. House Resolution 1861 by Representative Sanchez of the 42nd, Fry of the 122nd, Bell of the 75th. A resolution applying to the United States Congress to call a convention under Article 5 of the Constitution of the United States, limited to proposing amendments to the Constitution of the United States to limit the influence of money in political elections on government officials. Through second readers.
Reports of standing committees. Mr. Clerk will read.
Representative Victor Anderson of the 10th District, Chairman of the Committee on Governmental Affairs, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Governmental Affairs has had under its consideration the following bills to the Senate and has instructed me to report same back to the House with the following recommendations. Senate Bill 175, due pass by committee substitute. Senate Bill 423, due pass by committee substitute. Senate Bill 437, due pass by committee substitute. Respectfully submitted, Representative Victor Anderson of the 10th District, Chairman. Representative Chuck Martin of the 49th District, Chairman of the Committee on Higher Education, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Higher Education has had under its consideration the following bill of the Senate. It's instructed me to report same back to the House. Following recommendations. Senate Bill 956, due pass by committee substitute. Respectfully submitted, Representative Chuck Martin of the 49th District, Chairman. Representative Laura McDonald of the 26th District, Chairman of the Committee on Intergovernmental Coordination Local, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Intergovernmental Coordination Locals had under its consideration following bills of the Senate and the House and instructed me to report the same back to the House with the following recommendation. Senate Bill 260, due pass by committee substitute. House Bill 1404, due pass. House Bill 1560, due pass. House Bill 1568, due pass. House Bill 1569, due pass. House Bill 1587, due pass. House Bill 1588, due pass. House Bill 1594, due pass. House Bill 1595, due pass. House Bill 1599, due pass. House Bill 1600, due pass. House Bill 1558, due pass. House Bill 1562, due pass by substitute. House Bill 1563, due pass by substitute. House Bill 1564, due pass. House Bill 1565, due pass. House Bill 1566, due pass. House Bill 1573, due pass. House Bill 1575, due pass. House Bill 1576, due pass. House Bill 1581, due pass. House Bill 1582, due pass. House Bill 1583, due pass. House Bill 1598, due pass. House Bill 1601, due pass. House Bill 1602, due pass. Respectfully submitted, Representative Laura McDonald of the 26th District, Chairman. Representative Gunner of the 8th District, Chairman, Committee on Judiciary, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Judiciary has had under its consideration the following bill of the Senate. Has instructed me to report the same back to the House with the following recommendation. Senate Bill 463, due pass by committee substitute. Respectfully submitted, Representative Gunner of the 8th District, Chairman. Representative Smith of the 18th District, Chairman of the Committee on Judiciary Non-Civil, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Judiciary Non-Civil has had under its consideration the following bills of the Senate. Has instructed me to report the same back to the House with following recommendations. Senate Bill 572, due pass. Senate Bill 61, due pass by substitute. Senate Bill 398, due pass by substitute. Respectfully submitted, Representative Smith of the 18th District, Chairman. Representative Clint Crow of the 118th District, Chairman of the Committee on Public Safety and Homeland Security, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Public Safety and Homeland Security has had under its consideration the following bills of the Senate and has instructed me to report the same back to the House with the following recommendations. Senate Bill 482, due pass by substitute. Senate Bill 586, due pass by substitute. Respectfully submitted, Representative Clint Crow of the 118th District, Chairman. Representative Scoggins of the 14th District, Chairman of the Committee on Special Rules, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Special Rules has had under its consideration the following resolutions of the House. It has instructed me to report the same back to the House with the following recommendations. House Resolution 1473, due pass. House Resolution 1829, due pass. House Resolution 1831, due pass. House Resolution 1832, due pass. Respectfully submitted, Representative Scoggins, the 14th District, Chairman. Representative Shaw Blackman of the 146th District, Chairman of the Committee on Ways and Means, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Ways and Means has had under its consideration the following bill of the Senate. Has instructed me to report same back to the House with the following recommendations. Senate Bill 382, due pass by committee substitute. Respectfully submitted, Representative Shaw Blackman of the 146th District, Chairman. That completes the reading of the reports of standing committees.
Okay, members, we're ready to get started. We have a local calendar today. Local calendar. We have our local calendar also has some homestead exemption bills on it. There are 15 bills on the local calendar that relate to homestead exemption and require a recorded two-thirds roll call vote for passage. For what purpose does Chairman McDonald rise?
I'd like to make a motion.
State your motion.
I'd like to make a motion that we recommit HB 1600 back to Intergovernmental Coordinations Committee.
Members, I know you all heard that motion, so I'll ask the members to come to the floor, take your seats. Mr. Clerk, will you read the caption to HB 1600?
HB 1600 by Representative Santos of the 117th City of McDonough. House Bill 1600 creates the City of McDonough Public Facilities Authority.
On the gentleman's motion that HB 1600 be withdrawn from the local calendar, recommitted to the Intergovernmental Coordination Committee, is there objection? Hearing none, it is so ordered. There's objection. State your objection.
I object based on the fact that we're so close to the end of session that this is going to jeopardize this bill making it through this year.
Gentlemen, help out with that objection. Does he move?
I move.
Can you help me with where it is in your process?
Yes, it's just a clerical error on our side that it will be recommitted and back on the calendar for Tuesday.
Could you explain that clerical error to the minority leader?
Yes, we just have to look at some signatures and we will recommit it back on Tuesday.
We'll have it back on Tuesday for passage. You draw your objection?
We'll withdraw it.
We will withdraw.
Lady withdraws her objection. Hearing none, it is so ordered. HB 1600 goes back to the committee for a technical correction. Third reading and passage of uncontested local bills. If there is no objection, we will vote on the local calendar as a whole with a recorded vote without HB 1600. Hearing none, is so ordered. Mr. Clerk, will you read the local calendar?
House Bill 1404 by Representative Stevens, the 164th City of Pooler. House Bill 1560 by Representative Burns of the 160th City of Springfield. House Bill 1568 by Representative Thomas of the 21st City of Woodstock. House Bill 1569 by Representative Santos of the 117th City of McDonough. House Bill 1587 by Representative Sanchez of the 42nd Cobb County. House Bill 1588 by Representative Cummings of the 39th Cobb County. House Bill 1594 by Representative Williams of the 168th City of Riceboro. House Bill 1595 by Representative Fry of the 122nd Athens-Clarke County. House Bill 1599 by Representative Jackson of the 128th City of Sandersonville, Washington County. House Bill 1558 by Representative Blaze of the 67th City of Palmetto. House Bill 1562 by substitute by Representative Camp of the 135th Pike County. House Bill 1563 by substitute by Representative Camp of the 135th Pike County. House Bill 1564 by Representative Yurda of the 152nd Lee County. House Bill 1565 by Representative Yurda of the 152nd Lee County. House Bill 1566 by Representative Burchett of the 176th Ware County. House Bill 1573 by Representative Gaines of the 120th City of Statham. House Bill 1575 by Representative Saints to the 180th City of Kingsland. House Bill 1576 by Representative Staines to the 180th City of Kingsland. House Bill 1581 by Representative Bonner, the 73rd City of Fayetteville. House Bill 1582 by Representative Bonner, the 73rd Fayette County. House Bill 1583 by Representative Bonner, the 73rd Fayette County. House Bill 1598 by Representative Hatchett of the 155th Lawrence County. House Bill 1601 by Representative Dubnik of the 29th City of Gainesville. House Bill 1602 by Representative Dubnik of the 29th City of Gainesville.
I'm out of breath, Mr. Clerk, and I wasn't even reading. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered on the local calendar? Hearing none, the previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bills? Hearing none, the report of the committee is agreed to. Shall these bills now pass? All of those in favor of the passage of the bills on the local calendar will vote yes. All those opposed, you will be voting on the local calendar without HB 1600. All those in favor vote yes. All those opposed vote no. And Mr. Clerk will unlock the machines. All members voted. For what purpose, Representative Evans, rise?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
Mr. Speaker, isn't it true that the local calendar for today is a great example of how we, this body, can work with local governments to cut property taxes, being that there's 15 bills that are agreed upon between the representatives of that area and the counties to get significant relief in property taxes? And isn't it further true that that is the better tact when it comes to dealing with property taxes which fund local government operations?
I'm sure the learned member has her opinion on that. I have mine too. But we'll work it. We'll get property taxes cut any way we can, no doubt about that. We'll do it as a whole or we'll do it individually. But that is the focus of this House, is to make life more affordable for Georgians, and that helps cutting property taxes does just that. Have all members voted? All members voted. If so, Mr. Clerk will lock the machine. On the local calendar without HB 1600, the yeas are 153, the nays are 0. These bills, having received the requisite constitutional majority, are therefore passed. Members, we have a very important morning order we will lead off with today. As you all know, we've lost one of our own, so critical to our work here. So I'm going to ask all members, cease conversation. Doorkeepers, if you will ensure these doors are monitored appropriately. Going to recognize Chairman Lumsden and Chairman Irwin for some condolences, which you'll stand.
Thank you for standing.
Gentlemen, we'll suspend just for a moment. You have some other members that knew this gentle lady quite well and wanted to join you. Suspend just for a moment more. Gentlemen, we'll proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, members, for standing. We're here today to honor the life of Miss Shirley Spencer. Shirley has been my administrative assistant and my friend for more than 10 years. She did so many things well. She took care of things in the office that I didn't know she took care of. She just did them with a heart of love and care for my constituents and for me. The loss, she's been my right arm for so long. I'm not sure how we're going to proceed, but Miss Shirley, she was capable, she was competent, she was qualified, and she showed up every day with a loving and caring attitude and with a smile on her face. And what can I do for you today, Mr. Chairman? She was not only my administrative assistant, but she was my friend, and her loss is deeply felt and something that no one can really replace going forward. But I just wanted to convey to you what a great person she was. And I wasn't aware, but just last week we were in a conversation and something about age came up. Now, well, I'm not one to ask a lady about her age, but when I mentioned my age, she said, Mr. Chairman, I'm a little older than you are. So at 76 years of age, Miss Shirley was showing up and doing the work that she apparently loved to do. She loved people and she loved helping. And I can't tell you anything more than to say that you don't find Miss Shirley's very often. Thank you for standing and honoring her. I think, Chris, do you have something to say?
This is going to be difficult. Please look and smile at that picture. That smile was there every minute. It was stuck on her face. Perfectionist. She wanted to do it right. I think a lot of you know in this room that we do a lot of very important things. Most important is that relationship that we bond together with. She knew that. She was easy to love. She was easy to include. She was easy to trust. You don't expect these moments. I think many of you in this room also know that the Education Committee puts a lot on an admin. We worked her very hard, and she was always up to the challenge. She was always ready to work. I want to tell a story on Friday of last week as I left the office. Those in the office know that we talk a lot about fun things in my office. We talked about cartoons, and I would make statements when I was leaving, such as yabba dabba doo on a Friday afternoon. She knew exactly. She looked at me, that smile was right there. She knew what yabba dabba doo meant, and she enjoyed that part of the relationship. On Friday, the last thing I said to her was yabba dabba doo. Let me read this. This is a song. I found some words that I put her in this picture. The older I get, the more I think you only get a minute, but live while you're in it, because it's gone in a blink. And the older I get, the truer it is, it's the people you love. not the money and stuff that make you rich. She made me rich at what I did right here and with my family. So when we visited her in the hospital and she was in peace, it was easy to tell her I loved her. I want you to think that, grab life today as a chamber with exactly that, because you never know when this can happen. If you would, with me, let's take a moment of silence for Shirley Spencer. Thank you.
Thank you, members. Gentlemen and members, you know, these times are always very difficult. But let's thank the good Lord for blessing us with great lives that impact our lives, that we're not unashamed to say how much we love them. Blessings to her family and to this family, who she's become so special to in the work we do here. Thank you, Miss Shirley. I know you're in a good place now. I want to recognize Representative Inga Willis. I want you members, we just celebrated a life well lived. Now we're going to celebrate a long life that's being well lived. Representative Inga Willis is recognized. Gentleman lady will suspend just for a minute. Y'all need to pay attention to this one. There's another life lesson right here. Representative Willis.
Good morning, colleagues. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And now I'm emotional because we just celebrated an amazing life and its impact. Today, I rise to celebrate my father, my hero, Robert Andrew Willis, born in 1926 in Louisville, Kentucky. My father fell in love with the YMCA and became an avid swimmer, which came in handy when he was drafted at 18 to serve in a segregated United States Navy, serving in World War II, ironically teaching swimming before we could even share a pool. Thank you, Dad, for when you returned to inadequate housing, inadequate voting rights, and deplorable health care. You dedicated a 34-year career as a civil rights federal investigator for housing and urban development, overseeing discrimination cases for 8 states. Thank you, Dad, for restoring water service to a neglected community in Aberdeen, Mississippi in 1970. Thank you for regulating housing rights in Savannah, Georgia in 1975. We thank you for blocking an urban renewal project right here in Noonan, Georgia in 1978 when Black citizens were excluded from the planning process. We thank you and honor you for receiving the Presidential Award of Selective Service in 1982 from President Ronald Reagan. Thank you for marching on Bloody Sunday with John Lewis for our voting rights. Thank you for organizing with Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated to elevate the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King to the forefront of the civil rights movement. Thank you, Daddy, for being my hero. It has been a privilege to make you proud and to walk in your footsteps. We thank you for all that you have done and for marrying well with your amazing wife, Diane Willis. Today, we celebrate my father. Would you join me in celebrating him? He will be 100 years of age on May 15th. Celebrate you today, Daddy. Thank you. Stand up, Daddy. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And in the spirit of Black history being American history, I proudly yield the well.
Ladies yielded well. What a great celebration. 99 years old. Wow. Would your dad allow me to have a photo with him? I'd love to have y'all up here. Representative Kahan. Representative Kahan. Representative Kahan. Representative Willis is going to take her dad out to the ante room if you'd like to take a photo with him. Members, I'm going to recognize Representative Kahan now for a morning order, and I'm going to ask you to stand with her as she recognizes some folks and offers condolences. If you'll join me in standing. Ladies recognized.
Thank you, Speaker. Good morning, colleagues. This morning I would like to recognize and honor Reverend Lucius Edmondson. He was also known as Chaplain Luke and Brother Luke. He went to his eternal rest with his Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, on March the 8th after 91 faithful years. He was a Marine and the founder of Team Jesus Ministries, where he dedicated his life spreading the gospel with homeless ministries, hospital and senior homes, cancer patient support, and children's ministries, and he served for more than 50 years as the Henry County Jail Chaplain. He also equipped and ordained more than 200 ministers who serve and carry on his legacy across the world. So today we honor a mission fulfilled and a servant welcome home to hear, "Well done, my good and faithful servant." We have with us in the gallery his daughter-in-law, Kathleen, President of Team Jesus Ministries, Reverend Don Coffey, and his wife, and my personal friend, Prison Ministries Director, Reverend Donna Crumbly, as well as his family watching online, wives of 69 years, Ethel, and 2 children, Eric and Donna, 3 grandchildren, 2 great-grandchildren. So thank you for allowing us to honor his life and service at the People's House. If you would please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. And we have a resolution here, and if you could join me in the ante room in a moment. I also have another group here today, very exciting. We're honored to welcome the Henry County Veteran Services Support Group. If you would please rise in the gallery. There we are. And we not only have Marines, we have Army also. Now, the Henry County Veteran Support Group was founded by a man whose life has been defined by service. Both in uniform and beyond it. James Jim Dunn answered the call to serve our nation as a United States Marine. And when that chapter ended, his mission did not. He saw firsthand the challenges that face veterans, and instead of stepping back, he stepped up, ensuring that no veteran was left behind. Jim Dunn is joined with his wife, Teresa, and two children, Michael and Melanie. Marcy and Michael and Melanie is watching online. And I would like to tell you, it's a surprise to Mr. Dunn, that April 30th, it will be his 75th birthday. And this house hereby designates your birthday this year as Veteran Support Services Awareness Day. And we're so proud to honor you and the Henry County Veteran Support Group. We're so thankful for your service, and this is your resolution. And if you could join us in the anteroom, we're so proud and thankful for all of your service and all you've done for our county and beyond. Thank you. I yield the well.
Thank you to the support group. Sir, are you surprised? Well, we're glad to be a part of your surprise. Thank you for what you're doing for your fellow man, your veterans. It's very, very important work. Thank you for y'all's dedication. Thanks to all of you from Henry County that are here with us. Representative Beckles. We're going to have about 45 seconds. Can y'all comply with that? Thank you very much. Ladies recognized and friends.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It is my honor to welcome the Consul General of India to Georgia. Your presence here reflects the deep and growing bond between our communities, a bond strengthened every day by Indian Americans who call this state home, and so much of our shared prosperity. District 96 is proud to be a part of a state that embraces these connections and look forward to building on them together. Mr. Speaker, if I may, a bit of trivia. Cricket is the #2 sport in the world. India has played the West Indies 10 times in Barbados at Kensington Oval. My house, my childhood home, is 10 minutes from Kensington Oval. Welcome to the People's House. Thank you. If you can meet us in the anteroom for photos. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We yield the well.
Thank y'all for being here. I need to learn a lot about cricket. This looks pretty interesting. Yes. Representative Jason Ridley is recognized for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I got some special guests over to y'all's right. If you'll look up here, this is Murray County High School girls. They won the 2A state championship this year, the first time since 1965. And I'm glad to say my aunt, who's in not good health now, but she was on that team and she watched the whole game and called afterwards to let me know. So if y'all will make them feel welcome, congratulations, girls. I know y'all worked hard.
That was a great game. I watched that one. Y'all did good. That was an awesome game, and they had your aunt on there as well. So good to have y'all. Congratulations, and I know your whole community is very, very proud of you. Way to go. You'll never forget it, will you? That's awesome. Chairman Gunther, recognized for morning order.
And friends.
And friends, a bunch of syrup makers.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. A couple of quick recognitions before I get to the resolution. I have up in the gallery up here and over on the side, members of the Union County Chamber of Commerce, a very active chamber. If y'all would please stand. And they've been very supportive of this resolution that I'm about to do. So I want to recognize it. Also, my son and 2 grandchildren on the side over here. Hey, guys. All right. Now, as to the resolution, this is recognizing Union County as the sorghum capital of Georgia. Union County's been involved in the production of sorghum syrup since the 1850s. The Sorghum Festival has been going on for 57 years. It dates back to 1969. It still goes on. And all this is Appalachian heritage. I'm trying to read this quickly so I can get through this. What this resolution does is it recognizes Union County as the sorghum capital of Georgia. Now, we had planned to put sorghum on your desk, but you will get some in the next few days when we get back here. And if you don't like sorghum syrup, give it to Al Williams. He loves it. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Sorghum syrup. Thank you, sir. Welcome to the People's House. Appreciate that tradition. Thank y'all for being here. Representative Adenia, give the gentleman your attention, please. Folks, we're running close on time, and there's some of you we're not going to get to, so.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today is Haitian American Chamber of Commerce Day at the Capitol, and we have some guests in the gallery. If they could please rise. They're led by their chairman, Mr. Jacques Laurent, and I will always say to them, "Ça passe." All right. This month they're celebrating Entrepreneur Month, celebrating businesses across Georgia in making sure that they're involved and engaged in business across Georgia. Also, the Haitian team is playing in the World Cup for the second time after 52 years in Atlanta, Georgia. So we're looking forward to engaging them. They have some special treats in room 216 between 1 and 3. So if you love Haitian food and want to see the World Cup, come on down there. Thank you. Mr. Speaker, I yield the well.
Gentlemen, as usual, thanks for being here. Representative Bonner, Chairman Bonner is recognized for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today is Civil Air Patrol Day here at the Capitol. Your Civil Air Patrol is made up of over 3,000 people organized in 45 squadrons across the state. In 2025 alone, they flew over 81 missions in support of our state. They are commanded by Wing Commander Colonel Michael Willis, and we have some of those members in the gallery, and they'll be visiting with you throughout the day. So if our cadets could stand up and be recognized. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Welcome. Good to have y'all. Civil Air Patrol is good stuff. Representative Park Cannon is recognized for a morning order and some friends.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today we rise in loving memory of 3 individuals, Amber Nicole Thurman, Candy Miller, and Adriana Smith. They're joined by reproductive justice advocates for a day of witness and accountability for their preventable deaths, as well as many names who remain unknown. We invite you to also bear witness today by paying respect to these families, by meeting with them and listening to their stories and the impact of Band of Choice. They will be in Capitol Room 124 until 11:15 for visitation. These families honor the life lost, near misses, and criminalization of pregnancies in Georgia. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield the well.
Thank you, Representative Cannon.
Over here and over there.
Thanks for joining us today. Representative McQueen, I think you're still up here, aren't you? Lady is going to recognize a teacher, so very important. Ladies recognized.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. You know teachers are my favorite people. And I wanted to recognize one of the teachers of the year in my District 61. She's up in the gallery with us today, Patty Whaley from A. Philip Randolph Elementary. She's our 2025-26 Teacher of the Year for the second time, okay? Give her a round of applause. We know there are a lot of beautiful, wonderful teachers that don't always get this designation, but we congratulate you, and please come to the ante room for pictures. Congratulations.
Representative Rhonda Banal is recognized for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today, we'd like to recognize the winners of the U.S. United Pageant System. If they would stand up, they're up in the gallery. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield the will.
Thank y'all. Good to have y'all with us. Thank you, Representative Banal. And y'all can come down when you get ready and have some pictures of Representative Banal and some members in that ante room. That concludes our morning orders. If you didn't get a morning order in today, you will have to do it at the, when we do our afternoon orders. Representative Schofield is recognized for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This morning, and members of the House, I recognize the Bobby Dodd Institute here, known as BDI, for all their amazing work in making sure people with disabilities feel included in the workforce. If you're in the gallery, please stand and let us recognize you. We're in room 216. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield the will.
Thank you very much. Members, we are completed our morning orders. We have some guests that are on the floor with us that will be introduced in just a moment or two. About ready to recognize a very distinguished member of this body. So all conversations on the floor will cease. All conversations. Members will please take their seats. We're going to hear from a dear, dear friend, a very prominent, important Georgian who has set the standard of service to her community and to this body at a very, very high bar. I have great personal admiration and respect for the pro tem of this house, Jan Jones. Great respect for her love and devotion to her husband. Kaylin, good to have you and your family and grandchildren. I know that weighs heavily on your mind. We're going to miss you in so many ways. I'm not sure I can count the ways right now, but I'm sure at times of need it's going to say, where is the pro tem? So members, I'm going to ask you to give the lady, as she approaches the well, as the lady approaches the well to share with us some memories and some direction where she will go from here. Pro Tem of this House, Representative Jan Jones.
Thank you. Thank you. Please be seated. Thank you, members, and thank you, Mr. Speaker, for those overly kind words. I just wanted to share a few things as I prepare to leave the chamber. Just need a second here. Thank you.
Those are beautiful grandchildren, by the way. Did I mention that?
That's helpful. Thank you. Members,
I apologize.
No, that does help. That helps. I grew up a nobody from nowhere, and certainly not someone whose future might be expected to serve in the Georgia House of Representatives. I never ran for an elected position growing up, not club president, not even line leader. My people were not in politics, they worked for a living. Moving from state to state as the daughter of an enlisted Air Force soldier and a mother who worked part-time teaching piano and always took us to church, I was always the new kid in town, the new kid in school. Both sets of my grandparents were small, hardscrabble farmers with very large families to feed from Lawrence County. And so my message to young people when I speak is always that if someone as unlikely as me can serve in the Georgia General Assembly, they can as well, or aspire to other things that maybe they haven't even imagined. And I'm thankful for my common upbringing. When you grow up with little special treatment, you learn to pull your own self up because no one is probably coming to do it for you. My life experiences influenced and shaped my intensity, which some of you are probably aware of as a state representative, to try to create opportunities for all young people, particularly the nobodies from nowhere. The most meaningful thing we can do as state legislators is to support children with a brighter future through education and higher education opportunities. When I was sworn in 2003, I was as ignorant about being a legislator as one could possibly be. It soon became clear to others as well with my first bill. I sat down to discuss it with a longtime senator who also represented my area, and he listened and he told me it was a good bill for me. I took it as a positive sign and I asked him if he'd carry it in the Senate, and he responded, "Absolutely not." I said it was a good bill for you, not a good bill. And unsurprisingly, I never got a hearing in the House. I learned after many missteps not to let perfect be the enemy of the good and to forget about who had killed a proposition of mine earlier because I'd likely need them the next year or the next day. And many of you know I'd much rather kill a bad bill than pass a good one because it's very hard to unwind bad policy that's in law. I learned to include in my deliberations the empty chair representing the quiet people we don't hear from and who don't have a paid lobbyist advocating for them in the hall. My seatmate for 8 years suggested I incorporate a little humor into my comments today, and I have demurred because family and friends know my politically incorrect humor is best reserved in private. Yes, I can and have said that, but not from the well. Along with other old-timers, we've watched how the House has changed to meet the times over the past 20 years. No more smoking in the anteroom as the pages filed by. No more 40 pages of local earmarks in the budget for band uniforms and baseball fields. No more scribbled amendments on the fly put up on the screen and designed to nullify one another. And I'll be cheering you from afar as you create new state policies and chamber traditions that will better reflect our people's needs. I'm truly appreciative for every single staffer in the Capitol that keeps this place running. I have a red light that'll come on soon, so I don't have time to name them all, but Dewey did a good job of that earlier. They are the glue in our offices, crafting our legislation, making the chamber operate. And my staff has made me look better than I deserve, and I want to thank Sheena and Emily for their care and support, and Tyler, who recently moved on to greener pastures. I want to thank the many House members, both here and no longer in the chamber, that enriched, stretched, informed, pushed, and shared life with me over these 24 years. We've spent many hours together in meetings, committees, dinners, lunches in the chamber, and we do discuss and we fight and we mostly reconcile to try to make the state work for all our people. I'm truly grateful to each one of you, including the advocates in the hall and the squatters in my office. I value your friendship more than you know, and I believe in you, and I know you will continue to improve the lot for all of Georgia. I want to thank the constituents that elected me for 12 terms to represent them and their interests. They are the point, and I've tried to do right by them. I owe this entire body my gratitude for electing me to serve as Speaker Pro Tem for 16 years. It's been a privilege to serve you in that role, something I could not have imagined growing up. Speaker Burns, I'm grateful to have had the opportunity to work with you, and I have every confidence in your leadership and ability to look at the broader picture and the entire state when evaluating legislation and priorities. You truly are a good man, Mr. Speaker. I want to thank my husband, Kalen, my children, Tram, Peyton, Shelby, and Griffin, and now their spouses, Hannah, Yusuf, Jacob, and Maddie, for your patience in sharing me with 60,000 constituents in the House of Representatives. Any regrets that I ever have as a legislator are only for the times I didn't join you or our little grandchildren, Agnes, Felix, Annika, and Mina, or missed an event, a spring break, 1 year even a prom on crossover night, or all the other significant and mundane moments that life in elected office can get in the way of. Thank you for standing by me. So I'll leave you with a visual description. As you return in future sessions, consider in your mind's eye the sense of urgency experienced by the third monkey fighting his way up the ramp to Noah's Ark and feeling the raindrops starting to fall. Fight like the third monkey as you work on legislation and the budget to make life better for our fellow Georgians. And with that, Mr. Speaker and my fellow representatives, thank you for listening. God bless you, and I yield the well.
Madam Speaker, you aren't done yet. We have some more work to do. And I know you have some more work to do here. Family, Kaylin, children, grandchildren. I know how important you are to your mother and to all of this entire family. Thank you for the sacrifices y'all have made for her and she for you all, because I know at her time here, you've always been present in her mind as she's done her work here, how important you all are to her and how important a next generation is to her as well. So you're going to have fun with them, I can tell already. You may be moving around a good bit. But Madam Speaker, if you've left an indelible mark on this state, I truly believe, as a member of this House and as a Georgian, I want to give you personal thanks for the hard work you've put in, the dedication to your family, to this family, to the family of 11 million people that we impact every day, in session and out of session. So thank you again for that sacrifice. Thank you for what you've done to set, again, the bar very high for all of us. We will continue to try our best to measure up to the standard you've set. We wish you the very, very best. Enjoy life. Enjoy that family. We love you very much and appreciate you very, very much. Thank you for your service and thank you for your friendship and your leadership. Let's give her another round. Members, I'm going to let us stand at ease just for a few minutes as I know some of you would like to thank Kaylin and the family for their support for us and for Speaker Jones, and then take some photos with them in that South Annie room, as is our custom. So we'll stand at ease just for a few minutes. For what purpose is Representative Chair, well, actually, it's not chair, he's leader. Leader Illustration, rise.
Make a motion.
State your motion, sir.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the House recommit SB 23, SB 29, and SB 587 back to rules.
Mr. Clerk, will you read the caption?
Senate Bill 23 by Senator Albers to be entitled an act to amend Article 7 of Chapter 20 of the Title 47 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated the Public Retirement System Investment Authority Law. Senate Bill 446 by Senator Dixon of the 45th to be entitled an act to amend Chapter 2A of Title 20 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to the Student Scholarship Organizations. SB 587 by Senator Still of the 48th to be entitled an act to amend Article 1 of Chapter 12 of Title 16 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to the general provisions regarding offenses against public health and morals.
We're going to have to revisit that, Mr. Clerk, if we may. We're going to retract that motion and the reading of the captions. I'm going to recognize Leader Illustration for a singular motion on one bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that Senate Bill 23 be recommitted to the Rules Committee.
Mr. Clerk, would you read the caption to Senate Bill 23?
Senate Bill 23 by Senator Albers, the 56th to be entitled an act to amend Article 7 of Chapter 20 of Title 47 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated the Public Retirement Systems Investment Authority Law.
On the gentleman's motion that Senate Bill 23 be withdrawn from the calendar and recommitted to the Rules Committee, is there objection? Hearing none is so ordered. Majority Leader is recognized for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that Senate Bill 29 be recommitted to the Rules Committee.
Mr. Clerk, will you read the caption?
Senate Bill 29 by Senator Williams, the 25th to be entitled an act to amend Article 6A, Chapter 3 of Title 35 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to DNA sampling.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. On the gentleman's motion that Senate Bill 29 be withdrawn from the calendar and recommitted to the Rules Committee, is there objection? Hearing none is so ordered. Leader is recognized for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that Senate Bill 587 be recommitted to the Rules Committee.
Mr. Clerk, will you read the caption?
Senate Bill 587 by Senator Still of the 48th to be entitled an act to amend Article 1 of Chapter 12 of Title 16 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to general provisions regarding offenses against public health and morals.
On the gentleman's motion that Senate Bill 587 be withdrawn from the calendar and recommitted to the Rules Committee, is there objection? Hearing none is so ordered. Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Members, if you'll come to the floor, we're going to take up a rules calendar. Chair Lady Smith, are you ready for Senate Bill 478? She is. Mr. Clerk, will you read the caption to Senate Bill 478?
Senate Bill 478 by Senator Watson, the 11th, and others to be entitled an act to amend Chapter 6A, Title 12 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to outdoor stewardship, so as to provide for a sunset. This bill having referred to the Committee on Natural Resources and Environment, that committee recommends that this bill do pass by committee substitute.
Chair Lady Lynn Smith is recognized to speak to Senate Bill 478 and make some explanation. Ladies recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members of the House. This is a phenomenal bill that I'm presenting to you today. It has a wonderful history of conserving our state of Georgia with all of these projects and land that we don't want to see used elsewhere. The concept began in the early 1990s, when I was chair of the Natural Resources in 2005. It was gaining strength with the idea. The idea is to increase shares of existing sales and use tax revenue for sporting goods around the state, and then to use it for conservation. The most recent way to look at this is it was part of the resources that used the state of Georgia to acquire some of the land around the Okefenokee. These issues have to be of regional impact. There's a trigger to lower the expenditures if the economy has a downturn, but we are using this, and it's been very successful in protecting the natural resources of Georgia, and it's also been a resource for our Georgia citizens to enjoy different activities. To tell you how important it was to your citizens, it passed by 83% when it was a constitutional amendment. Mr. Speaker, stand for questions.
Lady has no questions.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
We do have a speaker on the bill, Representative Wilkerson, recognized for up to 10 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today I rise in support of Senate Bill 478. You know, as I was coming here today, I had this really big meeting with all of our county folks about local stuff, and that doesn't, matter as much, but we had a conversation and we talked about the great work that we do, and I saw 478. The great thing about 478 that the chapter will remain in effect until 2039. What that means is for the next 13 years, this will be very important for us. And so I just want to say that Senate Bill 478 that came through Natural Resource and Environment is a very important bill, and I'm appreciative of us doing this. So when I have my next meeting with our local folks about local activities that this legislature is going to deal with, I'm going to say that we do things like 478, and I honestly say that, in the next 8 minutes, I just want to say that I thank this chamber for the work that we've done with stewardship, because outdoors, I know my friend likes to joke with me that as a gentleman farmer from Cobb County, but, I'm not necessarily a farmer, but we do own farmland, and so when we go up to Illinois, where my wife's family's from, they do corn, wheat, and bean farmers, and they do some really good work because it's being in the outdoors is nothing like it. And so I just want to say thank you to the Natural Resources Committee for this work. And I will yield any questions if there are any. Otherwise, I will look forward to voting positively in favor of Senate Bill 478, which I do believe cleared the Senate unanimously. If it did not, I apologize for that, but I'm pretty sure it did. But thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I will yield the well. Thank you.
Gentlemen, yielded well. Thanks for your comments. Doing some great projects around our state with these resources. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? Hearing none, the previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to adopting the committee substitute? Hearing none, the committee substitute is adopted. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? Hearing none, the report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no. And the clerk will unlock the machine. Have all members voted? For what purpose does Representative Wade rise?
Parliamentary inquiry, Mr. Speaker.
State your inquiry.
Mr. Speaker, I think you've got some family friends here today, and I think it is true. I was not here, so I need verification. Is it not true that you, sir, were the person that led the effort on this legislation possibly a decade ago?
Well, I was a part of that team. Thank you for that.
Appreciate you doing that, sir.
Along with a dear friend and a champion for good fiscal policy in Georgia, Senator Jack Hill, who put some good metrics in that original bill that still have served us well today. Thank you for that. Have all members now voted? All members voted. If so, Mr. Clerk will lock the machine. On the passage of Senate Bill 478, the yeas are 163, the nays are 2. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Mr. Clerk, will you read the caption of Senate Bill 146?
Senate Bill 146 by Senator Williams, the 25th and others to be entitled an act to amend Title 31, 36, and 44 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to health, local government, and property, respectively, so as to provide regulations and protections of cemeteries and burial grounds. This bill having referred to the Committee on Regulated Industries, that committee recommends that this bill do pass.
Representative Jesse Petrie is recognized to present Senate Bill 146. 146. The gentleman is recognized. Gentleman is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, this is SB 146 by Senator Rick Williams. As most of you are aware, a funeral director from Middle Georgia. This bill is really a measure that really improves the process for a multitude of issues that relate to cemeteries. And I'll tell you a little story. It was interesting to me. I called Rick a year ago to get advice on an issue where a cemetery from long in my ancestry, Mr. Speaker, Burke County, Georgia, where many of my ancestors are, there was an old cemetery that had been a church and had long been abandoned, but the family still visited it. It was purchased by a private landowner who then disallowed any family members to visit that location. And when I asked him about how we handled that, he said, guess what? I'm working on this. I've actually had other individuals in the community which have similar situations, and I'm working on this. So, my friends, here's what you have. In Section 1-2, you deal with disinterment permits, which are currently handled by the Department of Public Health. They will continue to be. What this measure does is simply improve the process and the process for including descendants to make this a better process. It also requires a court order authorizing disinterment. So you'll see through the breadth of this bill, it's making this measure more appropriate for the descendants and more respectful to cemeteries. In section 1 through 4, you deal with disturbance permits by local jurisdictions. It ensures that you have public hearings and so forth, and much along the lines of notice given to descendants of individuals in these cemeteries. Section 2-1 improves the process of establishing private cemeteries on your private property. We have the ability to do that today. It's done usually through local jurisdictions. This creates some uniform minimum requirements to doing that. You'll see as you read through there, it requires a ½ acre, and of course it has to be deeded for that purpose. Still allows that completely, but creates a better path to do so. And then finally, in 3-1, it deals with the rights of descendants to access land. Going back to the issue I addressed earlier with some family that I have in Burke County, this really addresses that issue I had called him about, where there is a process through your local Superior Court judge to ensure that family members and descendants are able to see their past family members in any cemetery in this state. Mr. Speaker, that's a quick summary of a very detailed bill. I'm glad to answer any questions.
The gentleman has no questions.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield the well.
The gentleman has yielded the well. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? Hearing none, the previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? Hearing none, the report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machine. Have all members voted? All members voted. If so, Mr. Clerk will lock the machine. On the passage of Senate Bill 146, the yeas are 163, the nays are 2. This bill has received the requisite constitutional majority, or is therefore passed. Members, we're going to take a break for lunch, so this House will stand in recess. Is there any announcements? No announcements. This House will stand in recess until 1 p.m. sharp. Well, there is an announcement. Chairman Martin.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Sorry to slow everybody down, but we are going to ask the House Higher Education Committee to come down at recess for our committee picture.
1 p.m. sharp. I'll be here early. House will stand in recess.